Hello and welcome back everyone to Let's Talk Dreams Season 3 Episode 2. In today's episode, we're going to be reviewing Feeding Ducks by It's Me Juvie, and we'll be talking about Feeding Ducks 2. Juvie was kind enough to let me try out some of the mechanics for Feeding Ducks 2, so we've got some sneak peek information, so stick around. Then we'll be showing off some pixelated assets, and finally taking a look at the Dreamer request board. Okay, let's dive into the review. Feeding Ducks is a seemingly relaxing top-down pixel life sim game. The basic premise of the game is you are an old crystal farmer. You farm crystals which you use as currency in order to buy upgrades for yourself and buy feed for your duck. Now, on the top layer of the game seems very basic. You mine crystals, feed your duck, go about your day. But it's the twist that makes it the most interesting. Now, if you don't want any spoilers, I suggest you go play the game, then come back. Okay? Right? Getting into it? Okay, so the twist of the game is that it's horror. Basically, there's someone going about killing everyone in the town. So that's the basic premise. So let's get into some pros and cons of the game. And the first pro I want to talk about is the twist. The twist was fun, not obvious at all. I went into this game thinking it was just going to be a duck feeding simulator, ended up a little horror game. That was a really nice touch, and I did not see it coming. The second thing I want to mention is the music. The music was fun, it was catchy, it didn't feel too repetitive, especially in a game like this where you're kind of going back and forth, kind of living it day in, day out. If the music can get annoying, it can bring down the entire experience. So, the music was very nice, and It's Me Juvie did a great job picking who would actually do the music for this game. Last up, I want to talk about the gameplay. Now, the gameplay loop is very nice, especially because you're getting up, mining, feeding duck, going to bed. I believe there's one little mini game in there where you're racing someone, but overall the gameplay was fun. It didn't feel stale at all, especially because the experience of the game is a bit short, so I feel like if it kind of led on for a while, it could have got boring, but for the length that it was great. Okay, so let's move on to some cons. As I just said, the experience is very short. As a fan of the game, I would have liked it to go on for a bit longer, maybe involve more story. I understand that that's always not the case when you've got a one-person dev. But yeah, as a fan of the game, I would have enjoyed a bit longer of an experience, but I can completely understand why it was so short. Next up on the con list is lack of activities. Now, there was a few things to kind of change the pace of the game. There was a little race, I'm pretty sure there was a fetch quest, but I personally would have enjoyed some maybe more side quests, maybe even involving the duck. Lastly on the con list, it's the resolution of the game. The game just kind of ended. Now, I believe I did get the best ending. I got the duck, I got him out of there, and it was kind of a happy ending, but I would have liked more story, more to understand of what's going on. The cool thing about this game though, is it actually has a bunch of different endings depending on what happens to you. So what I think I'm taking away from all this is, I enjoyed the game, and I would have probably enjoyed more of the game. But that's all we got. Now, before we give this game its final score, we have information about Feeding Ducks 2. On one of my recent streams, at RedSeekatsu on Twitch, nice little plug there, It's Me Juvie actually came in and we were chatting for a bit and we were talking about Feeding Ducks 1. He then told me he was actually working on Feeding Ducks 2 and had some of the mechanics ready, and he allowed me to play some of the game. And while he was tight-lipped about the story, he allowed me to try out the mechanics in a kind of test world. And the biggest change that's coming to Feeding Ducks is, it's going to be a 3D game. It's kind of like Minecraft meets Dragon Quest Builders. It's keeping its pixel art style but moving into a more 3D aspect of it. Now, there is going to be a fighting mechanic. Obviously, you've got the mining mechanic looking after the duck, but the thing I was most interested in is the fact that you can build stuff now. But of course, even though he allowed me to play it on stream, I don't want to reveal too much about it. I don't think it's my place. It was very kind of him to allow me to talk about it. He did know I'm going to talk about it today, but I don't want to reveal too much. That's really his project, that's his baby. I don't want to expose it. That sounds weird, but you get what I mean. Okay, it's time to spin that wheel and see what we're rating this game. Let's go! A tier! Very nice! Well done, It's Me Juvie, you earned it. And now it's time to dive into the assets. Today we're shining a spotlight on La Tortue-Chauve. I hope I pronounced that right. La Tortue-Chauve is responsible for a whole myriad of pixel-style assets, and they are all amazing. I had no idea this sort of stuff was on Dreams. And what we're showing you today is only a small portion of what he's actually made. So what we've got today is pixel liquid tiles, pixel forest ground tiles, pixel large trees, and pixel clouds. And each set ranges between 2 and 3% thermal-wise. If you're on Dreams to make pixel-style games and you need somewhere to start, this is the perfect place because he has everything covered. I can't stress enough how amazing all these assets are. So, if you want to see more, check out Le2 Shop. He's got all the assets bundled nicely in one page, easy to put out, easy to check out. Honestly, go check him out. It's so worth it, especially if you're wanting to make pixel-style content on Dreams. And now, it's time to take a look at the Dreamer Request board and see who needs help this week. This week on the Dreamer Request board is Ash-ActVA, and they are looking for a HUD or GUI designer for their project, Minigolf Madness. So, if you are someone or know someone that does HUD or GUI work on Dreams, you can contact them on Discord VA #3628 or on Twitter at MinigolfM. All skill levels welcome. Please contact recipients PSN and not LTD. All T's and C's apply. And with that, we close off another episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the content on today's episode. Until next time, everyone. Bye!